Hello friends, welcome to today's session. Today we will be discussing on a topic where we will try to see the TCM diagnosis fundamentals through the eyes of the philosophers of TCM, the Chinese philosophers who invented the TCM. What could be their thought process for inventing these TCM diagnoses? So it will be a brief overview of the TCM diagnosis fundamentals through the eyes of the TCM inventors. So once again, welcome to the session. So this is, I hope you are able to see my screen. Okay. So I have chosen to write that this is a Chinese philosopher's views, but it could be the people who have originally invented TCM. In some places it says that it is from India, so we will not get into the details of that, but we will try to understand this subject logically and see what could have prompted the philosophers to come up with these ideas. The Chinese philosophers did not have any of the sophisticated machines that we have nowadays. There was no MRI machines, there was no X-rays, there is no there was no any blood tests, urine tests. Any of those high-end machines were not available to the ancient TCM philosophers, but yet they were able to diagnose the disease and able to cure. So how were they able to do it? So this brings us to an analogy and where we try to understand the human machine. Human body is a machine, and what is the functioning of a machine we will try to understand with a sugarcane crusher or a sugarcane juicer. So this is the sugarcane juicing machine, and it will have an input which is the raw sugarcane, and it will have two outputs. One output is the sugarcane juice and the other one is the waste fibrous material. So a machine will have one input and it will have one or more outputs, or it can have multiple inputs and multiple outputs. So this is the fundamental of any machine. Almost all the machines has the same principles. So now, how do we use this knowledge in the human body? So basically what I was trying to say is there is an input to the machine and this machine processes that input and finally it gives out the output. But in the human body, this machine is like a black box. What we can't see inside the machine. So we can only see the input which is going into the machine and the output which is coming out of the machine. So by understanding the attributes of the input which goes into the machine and the output which comes out of the machine, we can understand what is happening inside this machine. So even though I am not able to see physically what is inside this machine, how it is getting happened, but based on the input attributes and the output attributes, I will be able to have a fair amount of idea on how the machine is doing its work and what changes needs to be done to the machine. And this was the fundamental method which the TCM philosophers used to diagnose the diseases, because they had no machines to see inside the human body. So basically they understood what is going in what is coming out. Based on that, they were able to understand what should be done to this machine. So let's take it further. So what are the inputs to this machine called human body, and what are its output? So before we see that, it is important to recognize that the human body is a biodegradable machine. It is a fantastic machine. It operates very much like a sugarcane crusher, but trillions of times more sophisticated than that. Is whatever we are seeing, that human body is basically a bunch of tomatoes, potatoes, some grains, some water put together, and you add some magic given by God, and it turns into this fabulous, ultra sophisticated body, which is called the human body. So what goes into this body? Three main things, which is the food, water, and air. We can also add sunlight, etc. But these are the main three things which goes into this machine. And what are the things which comes out of that machine? It is like we can segregate. Whenever anything goes into the machine, we can see three main things which come out of the machine. One is the product, second one is the byproduct, and third one is the waste. So in this machine, the product is the human body itself. The human body gets manifested based on these three inputs, and along with that there are some byproducts which gets created, or you can also consider this as products, but for the discussion sake I have kept it as a byproduct, like saliva, mucus, menstrual fluids, sperms, eggs, milk, etc., which comes out of the uh, human body. These are the byproduct. And what are the waste product? Just like the fibrous material which comes out of the sugarcane crusher, like stool, urine, sweat, carbon dioxide, all of these things are the waste product. So based on these three inputs, the body itself gets created, and along with the body, there are some other byproducts and the waste products. Now, the TCM philosophers had access only to the inputs and the outputs of the human body. They did not have access to what is happening inside the human body. There was no endoscopy, there was no x-rays, there was no MRI, CT scan, etc., etc., etc. So if I have to understand the body, I will have to understand these inputs, these outputs, and to some extent the product, the body itself. For example, let us take water, which is an input. How do I understand, based on the input, how do I diagnose or try to recognize the what is happening inside the body? For example, we take water, we intake the water. If I intake excessive amount of water, it could indicate that there is excess heat inside the body. If I take far less amount of the water than a normal person, then I could come up telling that okay, there could be coldness inside the body. That is why I'm not taking the excessive water, because already there is water inside the body. If I am trying to take hot water, I like to take hot water instead of normal or cold water, then I could see that okay, there may be coldness inside the body, and that is why, to compensate that coldness, I am trying to take hot liquid. And vice versa, if there is a lot of heat inside the body, I might be taking cold liquid. How do I drink the water? Do I gulp it, or do I just take sip by sip? If I am gulping, there may be excess requirement of water, which could be heat in the body. Or if I'm just taking sip by sip, it could be that there is already humidity inside the body. Even though I'm feeling thirst, humidity is a altered form of water. So I'm trying to take only little by little, even though there is 30 thirst, because there is already humidity present inside the body. And similarly, another example, let's take to understand the attributes of one of the output. Say for example, stool. So is the stool well formed or is it loosely formed? Say if it is loose, then probably one of the organ which is helping in creating the stool is not strong enough. I am not getting into the details of the organs, etc. I'm only trying to give you an overview. And if there is undigested food coming out of the stool, then there could be some problem in the GIT. And what is the kind of color of the stool? Is it brown or is it like golden yellowish color, which is a normal color, or it is dark brown? If it is dark brown, probably somewhere blood is getting mixed into the stool. It could be indicating some problem in the GIT. Or what is the kind of smell that the stool is giving out? If it is strong odor which is coming out of the stool, then probably there is excess heat somewhere in the GIT. Or if there is no smell at all, for example, if there is lot of gas coming out with no smell, okay, then there is no heat, but there could be coldness. And let us say if there is burning while defecation, or if the stool is very hard, it means that it has dried up too much. And is it painful, etc., etc., etc. So I'm trying to understand the attributes of the output of the body. So similarly, I can if we can understand all the attributes of all the inputs and all the attributes of all the output, then I will have a fair understanding of what is happening inside the body. And based on this analysis, they came up with this 5 element chart. Looks very simple, but it is a fabulous way of trying to diagnose a patient. We all have seen this. Those who are students of acupuncture, uh, in treatise 1, this table is given. It is so uh, encompassing, and it tries to give a solution to so many problems. How do I use this, or what is the purpose of having this chart? The very purpose of having this chart is to target or focus on one particular organ based on different parameters, based on different types of input and output parameters, based on the feelings or the emotional state of the patient, and likes and dislikes. So we can use all of these parameters to get to one thing, and that is, which organ should I treat? This table answers this question. For example, if the emotion is too much of anger, if a patient is having a lot of anger, then it say, okay, why don't you take a look at liver and gallbladder? It could be that could be the problem. If there is excess amount of fear, then probably you should look into kidney and urinary bladder. And if the patient likes lot of salt in the patient's food, then probably kidney and urinary bladder. If there is some problem in the nails, hand and toe nails, then probably look into the liver and gallbladder. If there is coughing, if one of the symptoms is coughing, then look into the lungs and large intestine. If there is problem in the muscles, okay, muscular system, then look into the liver and gallbladder. So similarly, based on many of the parameters, they try to figure out which is the organ that has to be targeted in treating. And this is where this chart, 5 element chart, comes to help. So when these Chinese philosophers were trying to come up with these methodologies of treatment, there was no disease names. Okay, those who have already read, they could see all the diagnosis is based on the symptoms, not the name of the disease. For example, diabetes is a disease and it has many symptoms like fatigue, increased thirst, increased hunger, excess urination, weight loss, etc., etc., etc. So when we go to a Western doctor, what they treat is disease. But when you come to a TCM healer, the treatment is given based on the symptoms and not based on the disease, because the entire principle of TCM treatment was based on the symptoms and not on the diseases. So even for us, when we see patients, it is important to understand the symptoms. The attributes of the inputs and the outputs is so crucial, because that is the basis on which the whole TCM philosophy was brought out. So these are the main modes of TCM diagnosis. One is the symptoms, the attributes of the inputs and the outputs to and from the body, and what is the sleep pattern of a human being, what is the emotional states, what is the likes and dislikes of the patient, and the observation of the body. If the patient is leaning towards one place extra, or if one part of the body is sweating excessively, or any of those things, the observation of the body, is the body large and round, or the body is lean and thin. So these kind of observations give us the constitution of the body. And by observing the tongue, and by observing or feeling the pulse, these are some of the modes of the diagnosis done by the TCM philosophers. They did not have any reports as such in the olden days. So it is very important for us also to follow the same process which they followed, and along with that we take the help of the modern day reports. It should never The modern day reports should never be used to replace the original way of observing the PCM diagnosis. So based on all these modalities of attributes of input and output, the TCM philosophers came up with 80 standard energy patterns, and they linked all of those to different organs which is inside the body. For example, heart key deficiency, kidney yang deficiency, kidney in, spleen key sinking, liver heat rising upwards. Like these are all the standard protocols which the TCM philosophers came up with, and they have 80 standard energy pattern. It means the key is excess in the heart, or key is deficient in the heart, or heat is excess in one organ or deficient. In that way, they have created 80 standard pattern. And it is extremely crucial for a TCM healer to understand what pattern of energy is going on inside the patient's body, or to which energy pattern or patterns does the patient belong to. So by using all the parameters of diagnosis, we finally come to a conclusion on, okay, this is happening inside the patient's body. Either the heat is extra, the coldness is extra, or the yang is excess or deficient, the yin is deficient, or there is no essence is low. In these way, we diagnose the patient and try to understand the energy patterns, the 80 standard energy patterns which the original TCM philosophers gave. And to that, as an add-on, many of the later on thinkers and healers gave their own versions of it. For example, our own MP Kemka sir, he came up with altered way of treating, or he chose mixed and matched many of the points from those 80 standard patterns, and then he started treating different new diseases in the human body. So if we understand, whenever we see those 80 patterns, one thing which comes up predominantly, okay, any of those patterns, if you see, there are three main things that the energy pattern is trying to answer. I will try to take one example. In all of these things, if you see, there are three things which are being clearly mentioned in the pattern. Heart. Heart is the organ. Key. Key is the energy. And deficiency. Deficiency is the level or the degree of the energy which is there in the body. If you see the same thing, kidney is the organ, yang is an energy, and deficiency is the degree of that energy. Liver is an organ, heat is the energy, and it is rising upwards. That means excess heat in liver. So there are three fundamental questions that each of us will have to answer while diagnosing using TCM. And those three questions are: which organ am I treating, and which energy in that organ am I treating, and to what degree am I treating that energy. Once we have the answer to these three questions, we can use any of those existing standard 80 energy patterns, and we can treat the patients. Which are the organs? Okay, the 12 organs as per the PCM. Those who are students of acupressure, they know all of these. And what is the energy? The energy, either it could be ki, it could be yin, yang, essence, heat, wind, cold, humidity, dryness, etc. So these are the energies of that organ. And what could be the level of change is, for example, is the ki deficient, slightly reduced, or is it sinking? Is it further reduced? Or is the key sinking? It has totally collapsed. Like one level of reduction, further degradation is sinking, and total further degradation is collapse. Or the key is increasing more than what it should be. And these kind of energy degree of changes. So if we understand, so these are the three main questions that we will have to answer in diagnosing a patient. Sometimes we can easily target an organ. Okay, this is the organ that I have to treat. But which energy to be treated, sometimes there is some difficulty in understanding this, or what degree of change is it. Sometimes it could be a problem. Sometimes we can understand this is the energy that I'll have to treat. For example, there is coldness inside the body, or there is key that I'll have to treat. But key of which organ I will have to diagnose, and to what degree I'll have to diagnose. Sometimes I will understand the change of degree first. Something is collapsing in this person, okay, or something is excess in this person. What is excess? Is it wind that which is excess, humidity, or heat? Okay, it is, we understand, sometimes we understand, okay, the heat is excess in this patient, but heat is excess in which organ? Is it in large intestine? Is it in heart? Is it in liver? So this permutation and combination of these three fundamental questions is the main criteria of diagnosing using the TCM. So once we understand how to answer these three fundamental questions, then we will have a pretty good hold on diagnosing a patient based on the TCM. So this was the main topic that I wanted to share with you all. based on my own understanding and analysis of what I have learned. If there are any faults, I'm sorry about that, because there are chances that whatever I have shared, some things could be wrong, because this is a session taken by a student and by not a teacher. So I thank you all for giving your time and listening to this session, and I hope this session has brought some amount of clarity in your understanding of TCM diagnosis. Thank you very much.